Welcome to the screencast for Order of Operations Challenge. In this screencast, our learning target is that you will be able to perform the order of operations. So for this lesson, Order of Operations or Order of Operations Challenge, you need to have a good understanding of order of operations. What we've been focusing on before was each individual part. Now what we're going to be looking at is bringing everything all together. So in the reason that we're learning about the Order of Operations Challenge is because we're going to be using these skills later when we start to simplify expressions. So to quickly review the order of operations, first we look for our grouping symbols, then we perform any exponents, then we're going to do any multiplication and division in order from left to right, and finally we'll do addition and subtraction in order from left to right. Let's quickly focus on our grouping symbols. So for grouping symbols, we have parentheses. So you would do anything inside the parentheses first. We also have square brackets where you would be doing anything inside the square brackets first. And as we get a little bit more advanced, when we get to absolute value, you would do anything inside the absolute value bars first. Also, our square root symbol is a grouping symbol. You have to do any arithmetic underneath the square root symbol first. And lastly, we're looking at fractions. The numerator is its own group and the denominator is its own group. When we're looking at exponents, we have our typical number to a power. So that's one way we see exponents. The other way we see exponents is with a square root symbol. We actually consider square rooting and exponents the same operation. So you would take the square root of any number at the same time you would raise a number to a power. The next thing we would be looking for is multiplication symbols. Multiplication, we have our traditional X. We also have our dot. Sometimes we use a star. Parentheses, when they are not acting as grouping symbols, parentheses are multiplication. And also, if you're looking at a coefficient in a variable or a number in a letter, the operation in between is a multiplication. For division, we have our traditional division symbol. We also have the slash. But typically, at least in algebra, we're going to see our division written as fractions. So that fraction bar is a division symbol. So here you would be dividing the numerator and the denominator. For addition, we really just have the plus sign. And subtraction, we really just have the subtraction symbol. So those operations are pretty clear. So those are our order of operations. Let's take a look at this sample problem. We have a lot going on. So let's take a look at it piece by piece. The other thing I want to just let you know is that I am going to show every single little itty bitty step here. When you are actually doing your work, you do not have to show every single little step. I would not expect you to. I would actually just expect showing the steps as the numbers change. But as a teaching strategy, I'm going to be highlighting and doing some things. So don't worry that you have to repeat every single thing that I do here. So the first thing that I'm going to look for from left to right is this set of parentheses. So I'm going to do what's inside these parentheses. And when you are looking at inside the parentheses, you kind of have to start over the order of operations. So inside these parentheses, I see an addition and I see an exponent. So when I think about my order of operations, exponents come first. So I'm going to be dealing with the square. And 4 squared is, excuse me, 16. Now I've run out of room at the bottom of my paper, so I am going to continue my problem up here. And inside the parentheses, I have an addition. So I'm going to add that 3 plus 16 to get 19. Now, here, these grouping symbols are not really needed anymore. I've done everything inside my grouping symbols. There's nothing left to do. There's no number directly to the side of it. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of those grouping symbols. Now I take a look at my new problem and I see parentheses, but inside these parentheses, there's nothing to simplify. There's nothing to work on. So as I take a look and take a step back, these parentheses are not really acting like a grouping symbol. Now, because of this 32 right next to it, this problem is really a multiplication problem. So grouping symbols can be really confusing because they do mean do what's inside, but there's also, when you're done with that, are they acting like multiplication? So in this case, yes, so we're doing the 32 times the 1/2 to the second power. Now, according to the order of operations again, and I ran out of room, we're going to take care of that exponent first, because according to the order of operations, exponents comes before multiplication. So we take a look at squaring the 1/2. Now you can use a calculator, and we'll show demos on that in a bit. But we're going to square that 1/2, and 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. So we're really taking 1/2 squared is 1/4. So now I'm going to perform my multiplication, because multiplication comes before subtraction. So I take my 32 times 1/4, and that's 8. So my final answer would be 11. Now, again, don't worry about showing every single one of these steps. I'm just really highlighting the order of operations. So with this example, you should be able to perform the order of operations in more complex cases. So thank you for watching.